and do some work. I started a live stream. Sorry, it's already almost 9.
Here we go.
So I need to go over anything real quick. Let's see. You said there's some type of Facebook questions, and I didn't get to look at it.
Yeah, they're on the Facebook page.
Okay, I'll go
two of them.
I'll go real quick. In our messages or on our comments?
Underneath the post I did this afternoon.
South Dakota gamer, my internet is acting gay.
I can just give them to you if you want. It might be easier.
I'm about to pull up the page, Jed, and I can do it myself. Right. Have you noticed that I obviously put my beard guard on a little too... for some reason, I never remember what guard I use. And I almost trimmed it off. It's just like
5 o'clock shadow look going. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be right back while you look at those.
So is it under the just a quick reminder thing?
I don't remember what the caption was.
Okay, I see it.
Win a PS4.
What is your favorite NES game of all time? And if you could only play one game series for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Yeah.
Those are actually relatively easy, I think. I mean, they could be forever, but if we hadn't talked about stuff like that for a long time.
Yeah, the one of those that I think I'm going to have trouble answering is the
series.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that is harder because that's not necessarily going to be your favorite game.
Right.
Because, like, for example, not that I'm saying The Last of Us is my favorite game, but that would be a pretty crappy... Oh, wait, play. I thought he said... I was thinking live in. That would really be bad if you had to live in, like, The Last of Us. That would suck. Let's see.
I guess it might all, like, depending on how you look at it, that might also be a crappy choice to, like, play, too, because when the second one comes out, there's only going to be 2. So really, you'd only be playing one game.
Correct. I've already played that through like 7 times. I enjoyed it, but that wouldn't be my choice. I really, really really want to play Super Metroid again for a couple different reasons. Because it's an incredible game, but because it was not one of the games that I played a bunch of times over.
Yeah.
Like The Link to the Past, I've played over and over and over and over. And I know for sure I love that game. Like it's probably my favorite game of all time. But Super Metroid is ranked by a lot of people as arguably one of the best made games of all time. And I kind of just agree with that but I've not played it like probably, I don't even think I played it through twice. I really want to.
I don't think I've ever actually finished it.
I know I finished it. The last mission in it is like, it's really cool because you have to actually just, after you do whatever you do to beat the game, you have to like, it's one of those get out of the planet before it blows up.
That is cool.
And so you're basically racing back through the whole platform of the game to get to your ship while the planet's blowing up. So that's really cool. It's on a timer and everything.
We ready?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to like obviously think about the second question while we podcast, I guess.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm just typing this so I don't have to go back, and then I'm going to pull up my Audacity. I don't have that up yet. Let me see. Pull up Audacity. There we go. It's loading. Emptying my digital trash.
Already on it. Turn into the Star Spangled Banner intro.
Yeah, it was the first few notes of the first few. I try to do that. When my yawns, when I recognize the first few notes of my yawns, I just
go with
kind
it.
of sing the rest of the bar.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
I don't know why, but every time I see Josh, I think of some movie because of that hat sitting in that box behind his head.
Movie?
Harry Potter?
I don't know. It's just
the sorting hat.
My
yeah,
eyes,
it's a sorting hat.
My eyes keep
for
getting drawn to that hat.
Because you think there's something under it.
I don't know. All right, my recording is ready to go.
All right,
let's count her down then. 3, 2, 1. Episode number 125 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me, as always, Dave Mann and Josh Owens.
My name is Dave Mann, and I'm in one of the states that I live in. That's my Josh Owens intro. Hello.
What just happened?
Hello.
Did Josh die?
I'm not getting. It's giving me an error message again.
Let's just start over. We should just do a
all right, so
pre-recording test
podcast,
record.
right?
I usually do, and last week and this week both I forgot.
What's weird for me is that this is literally what I heard.
Test.
All right, ready to go? On 3, 2. Podcast episode 125. Like the whole first sentence was gone. I don't know why.
Okay. I just tested it. It's good to go now. Sorry.
Okay. Everyone can hear.
Get warmed up.
Yeah, we're all. That wasn't great anyway. Like at first when you shook your head, I'm like, he didn't like that intro at all.
No,
but it was recording.
I'm not giving you notes on your intro as you're doing your intro. No, take it again. That was terrible. Oh crap!
All right, here we go. Let's wait. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 125 of the South Dakota Gamer Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad Viss. Joining me, per usual, Dave Mann. I'll let you go. Say hello.
Oh, hey.
And Josh
I'm
Owens.
here. My name's Dave Mann.
That was totally the first time we did that intro.
Yeah. So don't go to YouTube and
always get our intros right.
Yeah, our intros are spot on. So here we are again, episode number 125. We are trucking right along. We're just going to jump right into it right away. Dave, do the thing. Do the thing you do at the beginning now.
Doing that thing you do. Breaking my heart into a million pieces. Okay, that's not the thing I do, but that is a really good movie, and I couldn't resist. All right, so guys, guess what? Actually, guys, I have to say this. I just reminded myself of my daughter for a very bizarre reason. So, first sidetrack of the day, as always. I'm sitting at my computer. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm playing a video game, and I'm towards the end. I'm waiting. I'm looking at a load screen, which I'll talk about later. And I'm going through my YouTube subscriptions, and all of a sudden I see my daughter upload. My son has a YouTube channel. It's just called Jack Man. That's his YouTube channel. Oh. But my daughter somehow has access to it, and she's always posting videos on it. She's done a makeup tutorial. Her first video was like. Her first video was called My Stormy Day, and it was just her walking around, and it was storming out, and she was talking about things in the house. But then she did a makeup tutorial. Then the next video she uploaded today was a how to make slime video, like the you know how the kids and stuff they're putting these ingredients together and making their own slime. So she gets in there, and it's obvious that she's watched YouTubers and other girl video, YouTuber stars, and she's like, because when it starts, she goes, "Hi guys, I'm just gonna do it." It's like she's got all this planned and everything, and she goes through and she tells everybody how she makes it, and then she's like, she even has jokes like written in that she does that you can tell are on purpose, and then she says the weirdest stuff like, "Oh, did I get some on my shirt? No. Oh, did I? I mean, because this is an expensive shirt. It's like really like you didn't buy into your clothes.
That's
Like
funny.
my ex-wife told me,
That's
she's
pretty
like,
good.
yeah, the other day I heard her talking to the camera saying, this is an expensive desk. And she's like, in her mind thinking, no, it's not. It's a TV tray. It's like, it didn't cost anything. And so
Yeah.
I forgot what I said. I think I said, hi, guys. And it made me think of my daughter saying stuff like that. But anyways, back to the point. Breaking my heart into a million pieces. Guys, July entries for the bonus. I'm reading all this wrong. The giveaway. Okay, another caveat, everybody. And I know you're like, Dave, come on. When are we going to hear about what you're giving away? I woke up like 11 seconds before starting this podcast, so give me a break. Last time I was super tired. This time I'm over rested, but I'm still waking out of the funk. And I'm
Whole
just
funk
reading.
and nothing but the funk.
Yes. So help me God.
Uptown, funk you up.
So as you know, again, we're giving away a PS4. That's right, a PS4, and
What?
it's going to be free because we're giving it away. Hence,
What?
yes,
True.
Josh.
What?
Okay.
Sometimes I hate doing this to you because it's like whenever we talk about this giveaway, it's like Groundhog's Day for Josh. He's living the day over and over, and I feel like
I don't know what you're talking
it's backwards for him because even though he's living it over and over, unlike
Bill Murray.
unlike Bill Murray, sorry, still waking up. He doesn't remember it happening, so he can't like take advantage of it.
about. I don't know what you're
We
talking
do,
about.
so we could take advantage of him.
Dave, wait.
know what I mean.
I just have one question about this giveaway. This
Yeah.
incredible giveaway that we're apparently doing. That's a whole PS4 for free.
Yeah.
Dave, all I want to know about this is how could I win that?
You could win that, Josh, by entering the giveaway. Do you want to know how to do that?
Dude, I want nothing more at this moment than to know how I could enter the giveaway.
Well, first of all, Josh, you've already lost several ways of entering the giveaway. But
Oh, man.
there's a new way every month. There is a way that is the same every month. And there are possibly bonus ways every month. So it's possible that you could have 3 different entries each month. But you got to listen to the podcast, you got to listen to every episode, and you got to remember everything that happens from the episodes before. So I don't know how you're going to do on that. But
That sounds like I almost have it in the bag,
yeah.
other than one of those two things.
So for July, as we've been talking about, the only thing you have to do is I forgot. I think it's support. I think it's give us questions, right? Right.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Send us.
I
I was going to say subscribe to
that would
YouTube,
make
but that was
sense.
June, I believe. So for July, all you got to do is send us a question, whether it's on our Facebook page, our Twitter handles, an email, something. Send us a question for a topic on the show. You can get an entry. Also, as always, if you are supporting us over at patreon.com/South Dakota Gamer, even if it's just $1, you get an entry every month. Not required, but I'm just saying from now until November, it's like $4, $5. You'll get 4 more or 5 more entries into winning a PS4. So I think it's worth it.
Well, Dave,
and
it sounds to me like people couldn't afford not to, really.
yes, Josh. Thank you for saying that because it's almost like I've never heard that said before.
I
But-
mean, I'm amazed that that's all you have to do to enter, and it really seems like it just you can't afford to miss out. It's $1 a month, Dave.
It's like your neurons have been removed. You're not
Every
remembering
week.
what's happening.
I'm just looping a week.
So what today we talked about what you can do this month. We talk about what you can do every month. Let's talk about the bonus entry for this month, which was just, I believe, discovered today. Correct?
Yeah, your suggestion,
I know.
Dave.
And I have also forgotten what my suggestion was. I'm still
That's
I'm still
you.
waking up.
That's you, Dave.
That's right. Okay, so if many of you remember on one of our previous podcasts, I believe probably last week because I think it just
Last
came
week.
we talked about a free game on the PlayStation Network called That's You. It's a party game where you and your friends can get together and you use your phones kind of as your little play thing. It's kind of like a party game you play at home. You out of a box and play at the kitchen table or whatever, except you're playing on your PS4. You could do this couch co-op or whatever, local co-op, or you can play this one with your friends online, unlike games like in the Jackbox Party Pack. Is that what it's called? Yep. Which is also very, very fun. So what we decided is we're going to play this game next week after the podcast. Me, Chad, Josh, possibly open to some others because it does have, we haven't decided if we're going to allow that yet, but it might make things interesting. Just saying, guys. But here's what you can do to get a bonus entry. Simply comment on the video that will be posted, or are we doing this live too?
Yeah, we could do it on Twitch and then just post it to YouTube as well.
We're not going to limit it to the live thing because I don't want people that have, might be working and have no way to watch it. So all you got to do is either comment while it's happening or comment later on our YouTube channel video that we will upload of it. And then, throughout July or whatever, and we'll tell you when that entry is done. But it's going to be fun. I've seen it played, and I think if we put our heads together, we can insert a lot of video game questions too to make it kind of themed and stuff like that. Cool. So you can check it out. There's Let's Plays of it online and everything on YouTube. So it's a fun game, and it's free. So go out there. It's a fun game. You can play at home with anybody in your family. You can write questions. You can turn on a question filter. So if you're worried about inappropriate questions, it'll actually take those out for you. So you can play it with family members. You can play it with different groups of friends. I highly suggest it. It's free. Again, download it for free. So That's You on the PlayStation Network. That'll be your entry for July, your constant entry each month, and your bonus entry for the PS4 giveaway. Welcome back, Dave. It's good to have you back, Dave. It's apparently not all the way back.
Nailed it. All right, well, there you go. Those are the ways to enter for July. Let's get right into the new releases brought to us by our good friend Papa Andy. I actually had a chance to see Andy this week, and he is like a walking zombie.
Really?
Yeah, they don't sleep long. They like to feed. They got to eat in the middle of the night, and he said he feels like he's not pulling his weight if he's not helping out with that. So he's waking up many times in the middle of the night to feed the babies. But he said he wouldn't trade it for the world, of course. So
what a fine
and his word,
father.
He's a good guy. I'll tell you what, just in general. The word of the week from Andy, I believe I'm pronouncing it properly, is Ilum. It's spelled Y-L-E-M, but I believe it's pronounced, or actually Ilum. Ilum. Y-L-E-M. As always, Dave and Josh are going to give us the correct definition of the word of the week.
I'm trying to remember.
Well,
I know what this is.
Here's how this is going to happen. Dave is just going to confirm what I'm about to say because I also know what this is. Chad, let me tell you about the Ilum. Okay.
Okay.
You know your tongue.
Yeah, familiar with it.
And do you know that when you're looking in the mirror and you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and you look underneath your tongue, there's some stuff under there. It looks kind of weird. It kind of looks like when you open up an oyster. You know what I mean? It's
I know what you
weird
mean.
looking under there. Well, Chad, there's two. If you are like most humans, there's a little blue area. It's like a bluish color underneath your tongue, right where it meets the bottom of your palate. And that bluish area right there, Chad, that's called the Ilum.
Huh.
And the function of the Ilum, most people don't know. The function of the Ilum is so when you're out and about in the world and you smell a smell, and that smell is vaguely connected to some memory way back in your past, That's where that's what that ELEM does. It's not in the brain or in the nose, because if you suffer brain damage or if you break your nose, for example, that could go away. So the human body was so well created that the creator foresaw those problems, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to protect it underneath a nice padded little thing, and that way the human experience will never be lacking in the association of smells and memories.
Wow.
The end.
Wow. It's good. It's real good. Dave?
Yeah, Josh is wrong. I'm sorry, Josh. It's
Dave, I really thought you were going to back me up on this.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty deep.
See, I was actually a little bit disappointed, Josh, because you, like me, are someone who appreciates music and is involved in music. And I mean, I'm not saying that I can't say I expect you to know, because I grew up in Motown, I mean, lots of music happening there. And I've lived in Nashville for the last 3 years. So I've heard of this term, and it's a term used in basically the inner workings of music. And it's actually shorthand for not only lyrics, but the melody. And so this particular one, I mean, I can't have put it any better myself, means, and I try to forget you, girl, but it's just so hard to do. Every time you do that thing you do.
YouTube's just gonna mute. YouTube's just gonna mute you now. It's just gonna.
No, that's a lot of emotion.
I'm paying tribute.
That's a lot of ideas just crammed into one word. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's actually interchangeable with any part of that song. But
just that one specific song?
Yes, but
okay.
It's only interchangeable with that part of the melody.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you can you can use it with any lyrics that fit that particular melody.
That cadence and melody. Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Now I finally know what that's called.
Now it's tricky because you can't introduce majors and minors into this. And so you can use it in different songs.
I should stop it right
now. But the cadence has to be there.
Right.
The cadence, it's like the...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just keep going if we don't stop him.
Yeah,
of a tree.
Sense. Yeah. And then the melody is like
Josh is
inside that
he's just going with it.
Yeah.
And when you put them together, if you plant it just right, you could have a whole new music producing thing.
It actually represents in musical form the entire process of life and how life works on Earth.
Oh, you're close. Now you're real close.
Well, that's deep. That is
okay, Dave.
Hold on, Chad. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Chad.
We don't even need Chad to tell us what it means because we covered the whole thing. So moving on to
what Chad doesn't realize is I am explaining what the archaic root of this word is and how it became what most people grows.
There's that motion again. You did that last week.
And using this word. So Chad, give us the layman's description of what.
Okay. So it's a word from the astronomy field. And in the Big Bang Theory, not the show, but the theory that actually exists, it's the primordial matter of the universe, originally conceived as composed of neutrons at high temperature and density.
I'm just going to reiterate.
So right at the end there, Dave was...
Composed, musical term. Create, musical term.
Yeah.
All life,
using music,
all matter from music.
So
grows.
ELEM is primordial soup, is what we're saying.
Yeah, basically the things that everything came from. So according to
it's the melody that all songs in all life is.
I mean, you're not wrong about that, Dave. That's if you really want to be technical about it.
Right.
Well, that's interesting.
Obviously, he does.
Because
That is interesting.
I've always
Thank
just
you,
heard
Andy.
Primordial Soup, but now I know that it's actually called Elam.
You've expounded on our knowledge, and obviously confirmed Dave's explanation.
Obviously.
I don't talk about it much because there's not a lot of people that understand what I'm trying to say.
But that's why Andy.
That's
why we have Andy around.
I knew you guys would.
Dave, I had a hard time grasping it at first. I'm not going to lie, but I got it. I got it by the end. That was very detailed. I appreciate it.
All right, so let's pick up the pace of this Primordial Soup podcast and get to the new releases this week. I'm just going to run through them. So Dave gets a little bit of a break here to kind of maybe, just sit. So Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, coming out for the PS4 on July 11th. It's a remaster remake of Final Fantasy 12. The Black the Fall, also coming out on the 11th for PC, PS4, Xbox One. Not familiar with that. Cereal Cleaner, not the cereal you eat, but the cereal as an SERIAL cleaner for the Xbox One, PS4, PC, also July 11th. Defenders of Ekron, PC, PS4, July 11th. And finally, Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 1, Hero in Residence for PS4, Xbox One, also July 11th. So those are your new releases for this week that you can go purchase. Nothing on the Switch that I see. And Final Fantasy 12, probably the big one. If you've not played that, I'm hearing good things. If you liked it before, it's even better now. So there you are. That is all the new releases for this week. That's going to bring us into the topic this week. As Dave mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, if you want to get an entry into the PS4 giveaway for the month of July, all you have to do is give us a question or topic on our Facebook page or Twitter or email account. And if you submit one, you get an entry. We have two for today that we're going to read. One from a friend of the podcast, Corey Hansen, and also another one from friend and relative, Mark Mann. Dave, not relative of all of us. So we're going to get into these questions real quick. What's that?
We all came from Elam.
Yeah. Okay.
The melody of life.
All right. So the Facebook questions. First off, we're going to start with Corey's question. And his question to us is, what is your favorite NES game? Dave?
Yeah.
You want to start us off? What's your favorite NES game?
I think it's for anybody that's listened to me talk about anything. I think that you are going to guess my answer. I'm going with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
For the NES? I didn't know that game was playable on the NES.
I thought it was SNES.
Negative. NES. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that is what his question was. Here we go. Wait for it. It's Facebook slow. Question. Do you guys? The question I have is a simple one. What is your favorite NES game of all time?
The SNES answer is better. I'm going to go with that.
So you're just not going to answer his question. Okay. I'll give you mine.
I'll come back to one.
Okay, I'll give you mine while you're thinking. I have a couple that immediately came to mind. But as the more I thought about replayability, things I had the most fun with, I played a lot of NES games. Probably the first place, well, not probably, definitely the first place I started playing video games. And so I got two that I have a real hard time deciding what's better. I'll probably choose one, but I'll give you my honorable mention as well. My favorite NES game, Super Mario Brothers 3. I can't tell you how much fun and how many times I played through Super Mario Brothers 3. Great game. Love it. There's a lot of other real good games, obviously, on the system. There's a ton. But I'm going to say that one's my favorite. My honorable mention, Mega Man 2 as well. So those are the two. I mean, Super Mario Brothers 3 is my favorite. So if you ask me what's my favorite NES game, Super Mario Brothers 3 is mine. Dave, have you come up with one?
No, I don't have a whole lot of like incredible memories with that. I played the NES a lot, obviously, but the Super NES is really when I just like would like lose my entire life to video games. Because the NES, like when the NES came out, it was pretty much always in our living room, and so I was relegated a lot heavier as to how often I played video games. I remember playing Dr. Mario a lot with my mom. I really liked that game. I mean, obviously, the games I probably played the most would have been the Mario games. Super Mario 3, I remember when that came out, and having seen, like, what's that movie, The Whiz Kid or something on TV where it, like, showed... That's the first time I ever realized you could fly up over the back of the end stage and, like, go to secret areas and get flutes and stuff, and thought that was really cool. I never played the Zelda games on NES. I've played them since then on like emulators. But you know, I didn't get into that until the Super Nintendo. So I mean, it's hard for me. I'm going back through like lists and I mean, I
play Excitebike.
Yeah, I played Excitebike, but I wouldn't say like my favorite NES game of all time. I mean, I guess I've never really thought of that because SNES is like it's just automatically the system I go back to when I think about that.
Makes sense.
What does Josh think? Maybe hearing Josh's idea will spur.
Well, guys, I would love to tell you what my thoughts are on this. And I would say that my favorite NES game would be one of two games. It would either be a game called Rolling Thunder, which was I mean, most games were like either side-scrolling or top-down or something, but it was a side-scrolling kind of platformer shooter with a loose story about a girl that was kidnapped and you're trying to rescue her. And you're like fighting goons the whole way through the game. It was a lot of fun. So that game or Super Mario 3.
Yep.
I really like playing
Super Mario 3.
I really like playing Ninja Turtles too.
Oh, that was a good game too.
On NES. I never owned it. My friend owned it, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is so cool."
Yeah, because you could play 4-player, right? Or no, you couldn't.
No,
yeah, you could multi-tap.
No. I think you can only play 2 players.
Maybe I'm thinking a different one.
Was Roger Rabbit? Was there a Roger Rabbit game on the NES, or was that Super NES?
No, there was a Roger Rabbit game on
Roger Rabbit
NES.
Because I liked driving that taxi around.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was similar to the Dick Tracy game, which was also on NES.
I mean, there's Punch Out. That's also another.
Another. I mean, the Contra games are good.
Yeah, but your favorite Mario 3?
I mean,
or Rolling Thunder?
If you really press me on it, I think I would have to say Mario 3. Like if we're not going to cop out here, I spent so much time with that game. Rolling Thunder was just another one that I was like just engrossed by the gameplay and the story. What little there was of it, looking back on it, but yeah.
Sure.
Guys, I'm going to go with Mario 3.
Hey, that sounds like a real good answer.
Right.
Thanks, Corey, for the question, and that gives you an entry into the PS4 giveaway. You are now entered.
Good job, sir.
Next, we have a question from Mark Mann. He says, if you could only play one game series for the rest of your life, what would it be? Because you're only allowed to play one game series forever, for the rest of your life. Josh, why don't you start us off this time?
Man, that is a tough one. So I was thinking about this before we got on here, and the series that immediately popped into my head were Resident Evil, the Elder Scrolls series, and the Souls series, like all the Souls games. So, but then you got stuff like Mario and all that stuff too. And like Dave and I were talking a little bit before we started, and like this is tough because it's not necessarily your favorite game. It's the series that we're talking
Yeah.
about. So like everything in the series. And I think that I would probably have to say, if I could pick a game series to play for the rest of my life, I would have to say, just banking on them continuing to make games, I'd have to say like the Souls games. If that, as long as that includes Bloodborne, as long as we can include in there. Like I just like there's those, they're so meaty to me, like those games, there's so much to do. And like I like a nice long game. That's part of the reason that a lot of the Final Fantasy games appealed to me for a long time, because they're nice and long. And I know length doesn't necessarily a good game make, but I like a nice long game. Like I like a game that I know I can spend, like I can sink a lot of time into. I will have a long time with, to get to know it. So the Souls games are that, and they're really challenging, and brutal in some cases, but to me, not so much that it discourages you from coming back and playing. And like the systems only keep getting better, like the combat systems and the RPG element of it just keeps getting better every game they make. So I think if I had to pick a game series, it'd probably be the Souls series, as long as it can also include the Bloodborne.
Yeah, fair. All right. I would probably say, just based on recent events, honestly, or I guess it's not based on, but it definitely raises it in my opinion as far as being able to continue to play them. That's the Legend of Zelda series. Ooh, I love Link to the Past, and other Zelda games as well. On the 3DS, Link Between Worlds is great. I enjoyed Twilight Princess to a degree, and Breath of the Wild has just raised that series as far as enjoyability so much higher. And knowing that they'll probably make additional games along those lines in the same series, that makes me excited. If I only was allowed to play one, just say that. And when I think of that, I think about something that's going to keep me playing, and I'll enjoy it continually for a long period of time. I thought about doing the Call of Duty series, which something new there that will keep you going for a long time too. But I think I would enjoy Zelda series longer. So Legend of Zelda series is what I would say.
Nice. Also nice meeting
Dave.
You.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, it might seem like a cop-out, but I think the Legend of Zelda series would have to be mine as well. Because even before Breath of the Wild, I could sit down no matter what game. I'm sure, I mean, obviously there's some that are better than others, but going back home for different holidays and sitting down with old consoles and finding a Zelda game and just going back through there and trying to beat it and replaying the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past and all this, like looking forward to Virtual Console for that reason. Or if you get the NES Classic, for that reason.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, good luck.
I thought, one of the things, John, I read it I read it wrong first, and I was like, I read it as if you could only live in one game series for the rest of your life, what would it be? And that was going to make it more difficult. And then, Josh brought up the point of, it's not just your favorite game, because that's not necessarily, I mean, for example, like The Last of Us only has, that we know of, 2 games coming out. And that's another question. Is it like, if time ends right now, what's the best series?
Yeah, he didn't specify. That's why I even said, I'm looking forward to the next Zelda game. So
yeah,
because another series that I think, if you include the future, that I could play a lot of would be the Grand Theft Auto series. Even though I didn't play a lot, I didn't play any before Grand Theft Auto 3, and Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice Cities and stuff, even though they were great games, the replay value or the how they hold up to today, it's kind of hard to compare them to 4 and then 5 and Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. But I would include Red Dead Redemption also in the Grand Theft Auto series, even though it's not. I guess it's kind of cheating, but it's kind of not. I mean, because it's like the same game, just in a different time period, almost, to me. But it's not. But I would still include it. But anyways, those guys. I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. How much replay value there is in that constantly. And so that's another tricky way, is if you pick a live game when they're constantly
always evolving,
and updating it. But as far as a series
Totally.
that's pretty much just been set, and each game is just set and it's playable as it is, especially including the Breath of the Wild, so much replay value in a lot of those games. Even the games that it's easy to find everything and are not as vastly expansive as the Breath of the Wild, it's really fun to go back and revisit those from time to time, as I often do. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I think I'd have to pick that one.
Good choices.
You could say that Zelda is the Souls game of Nintendo. You
Could.
say.
You could also
you could
say
a lot of things.
That's
you
true.
could also say that Zelda is somewhat a representation of the Elam,
Oh,
from
boy.
which all video games.
Courage, wisdom, and strength. What's the third one? Third part of the Triforce. Courage, wisdom.
Courage,
And-
wisdom, strength. I can't remember.
That's strength or power. Can't
Power.
remember. We
Power.
failed.
I
Good
thought it
job,
was-
video game knowledge, people.
I thought it was a strong hairline. No?
Yeah.
That's not it. That's the
Tunic.
one? Okay, cool.
Tunic. All right. Thank you, Mark, for the question. That is your entry for July. Congratulations and thank you. Great questions for today. If you have other questions or topics that you would like to submit to get yourself an entry, you can comment on our Facebook post, or you can send us an email, southcoastgamer@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter, wherever you would like to get a hold of us and get us your questions
Or you can
topics.
call or text Chad personally at
Have the number, go for it. That's it. All right. I'm going to jump down to what we've been playing, since we're talking about games that we would like to play. So what we've been playing lately, I'm going to go first because I know the two of you have something to talk about that you shared in together this week. We'll just leave that little tantalizing thought there for you listeners. First off, I played Next Machina. I talked about that a little bit last week. I played that while Dave was... What were you doing during the time? Oh, you went to Taco Bell.
Yep.
And then you came back, and we were deciding what to play, and I was playing that. And then after Dave and I finished playing what we were playing, which was Ark Survival Evolved, I went back and played more Nex Machina, and I played through the main arcade campaign of the game and beat that. Nex Machina, great game. I would highly recommend playing that, playing that. A lot of fun. Next, Dave introduced me to Ark Survival Evolved, as I just mentioned. I made a Popeye Hobbit character. His 4 arms. You can make your own character. And Dave gives me some advice. He's like, you want to make them small so they're hard to see, because you don't want other people to see you. Just make it as difficult as possible for other characters to find you. So I made myself as short as possible. I made my chest real big, barrel-chested dude. I made my biceps as small as you could, and my forearms literally as big as you could. And then I made my feet as big as you could. So I am a Popeye Hobbit. I named him Popeye the Hobbit. He is Popeye the Hobbit.
That's amazing.
And we went into the server, and we came up, and we're on this little river, and there's pterodactyls flying around. And there's, Dave's like, all right, so what we got to do is we got to start gathering stuff. So we start playing this Minecraft game of punching trees to get wood and grabbing berries off of the bushes and then making a pickaxe and chopping rocks and just like gathering some things. So we just got started. And then this dude sweeps in with this giant pterodactyl. Like he's riding it.
He was level 200 plus.
Yeah, and we're level 4 by now. So this 200 plus guy just swoops down, lands on the beach. Dave's like, oh crap, we're gonna die. He's gonna kill us all. And then he starts doing he crouched a couple times, and we're like, okay, maybe he's not gonna kill us. Dave's like, I think he's gonna give us some stuff. And he just stands there, and he's obviously in his inventory, and all of a sudden he starts pooping out these boxes. He's just like boom, 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 and 4 boxes just come out from his chest. Dave's like, he's giving us stuff. So he goes over and starts taking stuff. He's like, oh, there's bows and real good weapons and items and stuff. And he gets on his pterodactyl, flies off over the mountain. He's gone. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I mean, that's cool.
Who said decency is dead? That's pretty awesome.
He could have just killed us for fun, and we had nothing of value, but he could have just murdered us real easy. But he didn't. He gave us cool things and left.
That's
And so we ran around, and Dave's just trying to teach me all these things. It started to get dark. And Dave's like, I'm going to build a hut out of thatch, because he's like, I'm getting real tired. If you remember last week, Dave hadn't slept, so he's like, I'm getting real tired. So he starts building this hut. He's like, all right, well, I got this hut here. I'm probably gonna have to stop now. He goes, I'm real sorry for leaving you. Well, that's all right. You need to get your sleep. So he goes in the side. He's like, all right, watch me. I'm just gonna leave, and he logs off. And his little body guy just goes blah, it like goes limp like a rag doll in the hut. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. So I went out, gathered a few more things, and I'm like, all right. So I'm back in the hut, shut the door, and then I logged off too. We should log in tonight.
It's kind of like in Avatar when he disconnected from his avatar and his avatar just passes out, basically.
Right. Yeah. So our guys if we have been undisturbed, we're still laying in that hut with all the things we had.
Most likely
we're
somebody
probably dead. Yeah, we probably were. The hut was burned down. We probably were killed, or they could have taken us and made us prisoners. Right? Like we could be anywhere.
Yep.
They could have drawn weird stuff all over your faces.
Yeah. Yeah. We wouldn't even know.
Painted your fingernails. You wouldn't know.
Yeah. Shaving cream everywhere.
All that. Stuff.
Yeah, we should log in and just see what happened. At least just to check it out. So I did that. That I could see how that would be. So much fun and very time consuming. To say
I gotta get that,
especially if you're in it with your friends. Like the way we started it, and we had Evan and Paco and me, and Chad hadn't got on yet, but we were trying to get him on, and Josh hadn't got the game yet. But the game officially releases soon.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, maybe we should try to revisit.
Well, it's going to.
I think Jordan's now plays too.
Going to cost $60 instead of $30. Because once it comes out of the early access category that it's in, the price of the game will double. That may have already happened. Actually, I heard some rumors that was going to come into effect. Maybe it's tomorrow, but you might want to check into that to see if it has or has not. If it hasn't, it's going to be very soon that will jump up to $60. So that was Ark Survival Evolved. And then I decided at some point last week to start the Life is Strange game, which was free on PS Plus last month. I got about halfway through the first episode. It's going to be a good platinum, I think, fairly easy platinum to get, as most of those it's similar to Telltale game, but the engine isn't all janky. It plays a lot better, and it's got a really cool story. So we'll see how that goes. I played a little bit more of Breath of the Wild Zelda. I have not started the what do they call it? The Trial of the Sword.
Yeah. Trial of the Sword.
I have not started that yet, but I started getting a couple of the masks and just kind of wandering around trying to fill in some of the blanks. And then for some reason, I don't know if it's because I picked 20 questions for this last week, but I've been playing a ton of Overwatch between after the podcast and even up to last night. And today, I got ranked. I played the final 6 matches to get competitive ranked, and I was in gold. I was on the bottom of the list of all our friends that play, or all my friends that play, but I was gold still. And then I played a little bit more of quick play because I found if you don't have a group that you're playing with in the competitive play, it's a lot more difficult, and I lost a lot. And I didn't want my rank to keep going down, so I decided just to go over to quick play and level up. So I think I leveled up 10 levels. I was 31. I think I'm 41 now. So I'm getting a better feel for it, and it's a lot of fun.
You were playing today. I haven't paid attention to this. Is Doomfist DLC is that already live or what?
Not for consoles. Okay. It's part of the news, but Doomfist is a new character that's coming to Overwatch. It's in the PTR right now, which is on the PC. I forget exactly which PTR stands for now. I do know, but I forget. But it's available in the PTR mode on the PC only. So people have been playing it and streaming it. You can watch it. They've already adjusted some of his things, but that will be coming to the consoles very soon. The 25th player character in Overwatch, Doomfist. So that's kind of cool. So those are the things that I've been playing. Josh.
Yes.
What have you been playing?
I'll start with the one that Dave and I won't be talking about, and that is Broforce. We talked about Broforce last week as one of the most Murica video games ever, and it reminded me that it was a lot of fun. So I downloaded it again, and I've been going through it. It's so over the top and crazy, and everything's bro this and bro that, and it's hilarious and fun. What I've been doing... So there is a, since I had finished the campaign already, there is a mode called Iron Bro mode. So what I've been doing is trying to play through on Iron Bro mode on hard. So Iron Bro mode means that every bro has only one life. So as you play the game, you're playing through a level, you'll come across a cage that says help or something on it. And if you break the cage and free the bro inside, then that bro is added to your roster. And in the regular game, you get continues. So like every time you pick up a new bro, it's like based on some like 90s or early 2000s action movie hero, or even some 80s action movie heroes. And so they all have like different abilities and different guns and things. So every time you rescue a new bro, you become that bro, and then you're playing as that bro. And then when that bro dies, the next bro just comes in, and like you play as that bro. But if you're not in Iron Bro mode, you get continues. Well, in Iron Bro mode, you do not get continues. So every bro only has one life. There are no continues. And then if you go to play on hard mode, like if you play on Iron Bro hard, the game literally tells you, this is ridiculous and it's not at all fair and you shouldn't do this. And so it's frustrating. I haven't gotten past the first like 4 levels trying to play that way. But it's a lot of fun. Like it's a fun little thing to do. Like unfortunately there's no platinum. I don't think I realized that before. But I was like going back and like trying to get some of the trophies. They're not hard to get. I may like go through and get the rest of them. But so that's fun. That's what I've been doing. And then I also played and finished Prey. So
yeah.
Again, Chad, you haven't played yet, right?
I haven't, but I was debating maybe we should just, we'll let Dave do his others and then the two of you can talk.
Okay, yeah, we can circle back.
We can say a spoiler thing and you guys can, because if I play it, it's going to be a while, honestly.
Okay.
So I don't think I wouldn't be too upset if you spoiled it.
Yeah, we can circle back.
So
okay. So you want to move to me? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Josh is done, yeah.
Obviously, I played Ark like Chad said, so I won't get into that. I didn't play very much. I was half sleep deprived. I have been playing a lot since the DLC for Breath of the Wild came out. I've been playing a lot of that, and not necessarily playing the DLC, but I guess partially you could say I'm playing these because I'm using the map feature where you can see where you've been, which is a really cool feature. It would have been cool if it was something that was just there from the beginning, but it's very cool to have now and look back and see things because I'm visiting areas. I'm like, man, I haven't even been over here at all. And you go over there and you instantly find a shrine or two. And not a shriner also, as in like that group of people, but a shrine. Come on.
Not as in Steve.
Fez hat.
Right. So I've been updating I've been putting everything into my stamina recently. I think I have only 15 hearts. I haven't even doubled the hearts over to where it starts the other row. But I do have, I'm one stamina, little upgrade away from having 3 full circles. So I could run around and climb a lot and I don't have any problem like that. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I'm loving going around, still exploring things that I've never been to before. I did do some of the Trial of the Sword and made it, I don't know, 5 or 6 before I got killed, and it put me back to the beginning. And it was right before I went to bed, so I'm like, I'm not going to start over. I have heard that at either every 11 or 12 levels, I think there's a checkpoint, which that made me feel better because, I mean, I hate to get so far into it and then have to restart. But I really like that aspect of the DLC. I loved the little island on the game where you had to just basically start with nothing and find stuff as you go to unlock the shrine. I like that kind of stuff. So I like that aspect of doing that in the game. And it kind of forces you to play in ways that you might not necessarily have been playing in the game before that, as far as, using, if you rely more on weapons throughout the game, you're going to have to figure out a different way to play in this DLC part because you don't have them. So it's really cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. I still haven't beaten the actual game either. So I've stayed away from Ganon. I've got all the Divine Beasts. but I've stayed away from Ganon and doing that. And last but not least, as Josh said, I played Prey, and I also finished Prey. It's definitely not the end of me playing it because I'm going to go back and play a different lifestyle. So, as Chad said, I guess we are going to get into some spoilers. So, for those of you that don't want Prey to be spoiled for you, go ahead and fast forward, 10 minutes or so. Probably be done before then.
Do we want to do a timestamp, Chad?
Yeah, I just wrote down the time that we are starting, and then we'll try to keep it to 10 minutes or less. So,
right.
Go ahead. I'll put it in the show notes.
So first of all, I'll just say, as those of you who know, the Prey is obviously it's a survival horror type game, very much like BioShock, in space. You're on a space station called Talos 1, and you start off as a character who is heavily involved in what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. I referenced earlier Josh acting like he had never heard of the giveaway that we do every week, and I said it's like your neuromods have been removed, which was a Prey reference, because in the game you get these things called neuromods, and it's basically something that you hold up to your eye and it injects needles into your skull and it right into your brain, and they use this alien technology they've been researching to give you different powers. And so throughout the game you have a skill tree, and as you collect these neuromods you upgrade your player, and you've got the tree branches at some point in the game, and you can either go way heavy and upgrade all of your human abilities, or you can go over here and start experimenting and giving yourself alien abilities that you research from the alien species that they call the Typhoon that is being researched on the station. At the end game, there are different ways it can end depending on how you play it. Josh and I have both played it differently, not like vastly different from what I understand from Josh, but definitely different. So I'm curious, Josh, as to what your take was.
So when like my main playthrough, so we referenced last week, there is a much earlier end game, and I think you and I both hit that as well, right? So there's like an escape pod you can take way early in the game, and that's a valid end game. Yeah,
and they set you up with a quest as you explore and talk to different people, and it's very much sounds like if I take this, I just end the game. I mean, it's not super accessible right then. You have to go through this quest.
Yeah, you still have to play through, but it's a much earlier end game than.
Yeah, and there's players that say you shouldn't do this. Like, you really shouldn't do this. It's basically you're just abandoning the station.
So
and saving yourself.
Yeah, the idea behind it is the alien technology that they're researching. The aliens broke containment, and so now they're loose on the station and they're wreaking all kinds of havoc. And so the idea is you can't let the aliens or their technology, because it's tainted with the aliens themselves, you can't let it get back to Earth. So the main story mission is that you have to destroy Talos 1, the station. But you do have the option way early before the end of the game to leave in this escape pod, and that's a valid end game. And like, if that's how you wanted to play it, like, it literally, like, it says, like, this is what you did, and then you have the option to like continue and like go back and play like from the autosave right before you do that, like if you want to keep playing the game. Cool. So yeah, it's a cool little touch. Like, you can just see what it would be like to be a selfish jerk and like just be like, well, it's you guys' problem, I'm out of here.
See ya.
So there's that. So like when I finished the game though, on my main playthrough, there's if you look at the trophy list, there's different trophies for finishing the game differently, and decisions you make during your playthrough will affect those. So my main playthrough, I finished the game in what they call the most empathetic way possible. So I actually ended up getting the trophy for No Humans Killed, which I didn't think I was going to get, but apparently
I did that too, which was very strange because I watched humans die. So
yeah, I think it's saying like as long as you didn't personally kill humans because I don't think I did that during my.
There's also a timed mission, which I didn't really understand. There were timed missions until it was too late. I got a mission saying from a guy that was alive.
Mm-hmm.
He's like saying and he reached me. I was just trying everybody, and there's an alien right outside the door. Blah blah blah. Well, I had other missions, and I was trying to get these other missions, and all of a sudden it says mission update failed.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I still got the trophy.
Yeah, but you
I guess maybe it is. You didn't specifically kill them.
So that would be because otherwise, I think that'd be almost an impossible trophy to get.
Right.
So yeah, I was glad that I got that. So the most empathetic way possible is, I mean, Chad, I don't know how much spoilers you're okay with.
Go for it, man. Do it.
So you do end up getting an option at some point during your playthrough to not destroy Talos 1. And there's another way that you can end this whole thing. You can kill off like all the aliens instead and basically cleanse the station. It's a little riskier, but that way you don't have to destroy the station and everybody on it, and you don't have to destroy all the research either. So I did that, but like I kind of scum saved a little bit because I saved before I ended the game that way so that I could go back and like maybe try and end the game a couple other ways. So
I've never heard of that term, scum saved.
Oh yeah, that's like it's more of a PC term,
Right.
and people use it when it's mostly like an RPG PC term. So you can save before like irreparable, story points or whatever. So I did that, and like so that's how I ended it. The end of the game, I knew there had to be a twist coming, but the end of the game like really got me. I didn't think that was going to be the twist.
Mm-hmm.
So I will leave that for you, Chad, because it's like that's a good reveal, like right at the end.
We're not gonna talk about it.
Do it.
All right,
you can do it. You got like 5 minutes left. So
all right, so you're playing as Morgan Yu, who like Morgan Yu's the main character. You find out at the beginning of the game that they've been looping one day for you because you and your brother are like the heads of this company, this space station, and you're testing these neuromods. And so you agreed to like being the subject for this testing, but when you remove a neuromod, like Dave said, it wipes all your memory, and everything after the neuromod was installed is wiped. So your brain gets reset back to right before it was installed. So you find out they've been looping one day for you for who even knows how long, for months at least. And so when you finally kind of break out of this loop that they've been doing because everything's just kind of gone to crap, you're like trying to figure out what's going on, and you left yourself like notes and voice logs and things to like update yourself because you figured something like this might happen. Anyway, so you're playing the game as Morgan Yu, and then at the very end, so you end the game, the credits roll, and then there's a loading screen, and the loading screen always says like the name of the place that you're loading to. So it's like Cargo Bay or Talos Bridge. And the loading screen, this was a cool touch too, I thought. Like the loading screen says unknown location. And you're like, oh yeah, hidden location. And you're like, what is this? Like, because the credits have already rolled by this point. So then it opens up, and it's obvious that you're sitting in like a chair, and then there's like what they call operators. They're like little robots that help you like throughout the game.
They're instilled with human memories. So they basically act as humans. They're just robots that float in the air.
So they're like facing you, and then your brother, Alex. is also facing you.
Also, this area is referenced a couple times in the game. You just don't realize it.
Right. So it turns out that the whole time you've been playing, you've actually been playing through Morgan Yu's memories. It was a simulation based on Morgan Yu's memories, and you are actually one of the Typhon, one of the aliens. And they're trying to subject you to human memories and experiences to see if they can get you to act like a human, because they've been trying to take the aliens and use it to make us better. He even says at the end of the game, this whole time we've been trying to see if we can put what you can do in us, and now we're trying to put what we can do in you. And so like you are one of the aliens. So like then it kind of recaps your whole playthrough, and it says like, well, he did this and he did this, or he didn't do this. And so they're trying to decide whether or not they let you live at the end of the game. So I'm assuming that's where it can vary depending on how you played. But so my first playthrough, I finished in the most empathetic way possible. I like finished it a couple other times, slightly differently. I did destroy the station to see what that did. But my end game area was still pretty much the same. And then there is one other mission that I was trying to get, Dave, the one with Dahl, where you can like possibly escape with him on the shuttle. Did you get any of that? So I was trying to figure that out, and I'll
talk about that in my 10 minutes.
Okay, so it just kept saying that like it was going to update me, and then it never updated me on that. Like one playthrough I was doing, and then
what part? I don't know. What was it waiting to update you on?
It was something about like I was supposed to meet Dahl back at his shuttle. Oh, I know what I did. I destroyed the station, and when I went through all that, then it was like a timed thing for me to get to the shuttle and escape.
And did you?
So I ended up getting it like after a couple tries. So yeah, like it's really, really interesting. But I like what I'm curious about is if you play through without any Typhon abilities.
I did that.
Okay, so that's what I want to hear about, because I want to know like what the end game looks like.
It sounds pretty much the same. I mean, when I went through, one of the operators, it might have been Igwe or something, said he used no. Actually, January told me too. Actually, that's an interesting thing. January told me, he said, because it's basically your memories you're talking to, so it's like a recreation of you, and he's telling you the one thing you didn't anticipate was this Dahl factor, and he says you actually have little to no Typhon in you, so you could technically escape on this shuttle with these people, but my design is to stop that from happening. He goes, but technically, if I were to be disabled, I wouldn't be able to stop or hinder you from escaping on that thing.
Oh, so he's like wink, wink.
Yeah, which is something you didn't anticipate. So then I took him out.
I didn't get that at all.
I shot him with a shotgun once, but then I threw a EMP at him the second time. So when you come out the other end, they reference that like he didn't use any of this. Why? And a couple different times I ended it. It always kind of ends with this. We can't really know why he did this or why he did that. And then Alex says, "Well, we have to give him a chance." And it's like, take my hand if you can.
Oh yeah.
So it's like then you have the option to either kill him or take his hand. And I did both.
I did,
but both are just like instant ends to where it was kind of weird how it ends like this. Like I kind of wanted more from the ending, but I think they purposely left it to be very just up in the air kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if you had mentioned that about Dahl and everything, because there is a way you can destroy the station and get off, like you said. But also there's a trophy for playing the game through with just human powers and then playing it through with just Typhon powers, meaning not upgrading any of your human abilities. And there's a trophy for playing through the game without upgrading anything at all.
Yeah, no abilities, which I don't understand that.
Oh, wow. Like, how is that even going to work? Because how do you get, first of all, I'm worried about the Typhon. Like there's a period of time before you even get any Typhon abilities.
Yeah.
So you're not hacking anything at that point. You're not repairing anything at that point, except unless it's level 1, because you can't upgrade any of that stuff. So once you get the Typhon, you'll be able to like mimic into like those security stations through the wall, through the little holes and stuff. But if you're not up doing any of that stuff, how are you going to get? You're basically going to have to rely on every email. You're going to have to find every single. Which I found a whole lot of those things. Yeah. Also trophies for that. Finding every email, finding every audio log.
I didn't get the one for finding every audio log I left myself, but
I didn't get any email. I didn't get all the emails either.
Yeah, I don't think I got that one either.
But I mean, there's lots of stuff.
Those are the kind of trophies that I think are so annoying. I hate.
There's lots of stuff that you're not going to get access to this area unless you either know a key code, have a key card, or can hack the thing. And most of the time, if you don't have any of your hacking ability upgraded, you're not gonna be able to hack it.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the key code,
and most of the time, there's like, it's not like crazy stuff that's in there. Usually it's like ammo and like maybe a neuromod or something like that in there. But like ammo is very scarce the whole game.
Right.
So rooms like that are important.
By the end of the game, I was actually recycling neuromods because I wasn't upgrading any of my Typhon abilities. And I had basically, which I probably should have just tried to max out because there's probably a trophy. I don't know if there is or not, but wouldn't be surprised. But I almost maxed out my human abilities. But there were things like there were some human abilities that actually affect your Typhon abilities, which I didn't really upgrade those at all because I knew I wasn't going to need them.
I'll tell you one thing about the Typhon abilities that I learned way too late. So on your next playthrough and your playthrough, Chad, there's the mimic ability, which is what we saw in a lot of the pre-release like gameplay videos and trailers and stuff. So you can like mimic, it's called mimic matter. And so you can like turn into like a coffee cup or like like just mundane things around the station. Well, as you upgrade that ability, you can mimic more complex things. So if you have it all the way upgraded, at one point you can mimic like turrets. And I didn't realize this. Because I didn't use that ability much except to like access places I couldn't ordinarily access, or to like hide from mimics or something. But if you mimic a turret, you can actually fire. Like you function as a turret. Why am I saying turret?
Is it automatically, or do you control the firing yourself?
You control it.
Oh,
so cool. you are the turret at that point. So like I realized that like way late in the game. So it didn't really do me any good. But there were points in the game where that really would have helped.
And that's unlimited ammo when you're a turret?
Yeah, I don't think I saw like an ammo meter. You do have, so like there is a time limit because like the whole time you're mimicking, your psi points are running down. So that's the only limitation there, I think. But so that would have helped me if I would have known that or realized that beforehand. But there's even there's a trophy for mimicking a mimic. So if you know a mimic, like if you see a coffee cup and you're like, well, I know I just saw it turn into a coffee cup, so I know that's a mimic. And then you mimic that thing, you get a trophy for that, which is kind of a cool thing.
There's also a trophy for you can create your own phantom.
Oh yeah.
And then if you scan your own created phantom, there's a phantom, not phantom.
Yeah,
there's also a trophy for killing Alex, which it's never like because at one point I was standing above his head and I with my shotgun and I'm like, what if I kill him? And I'm thinking, in my mind, this is where like your morality comes in the games. I'm like, I'm his brother. Like I can't just execute him. Like if I don't need to execute him, but I very easily could have I had just quick saved. I could have just shot him, killed him.
Yeah.
And
at the beginning of the game, I was like, man, he's a jerk. I don't trust anything he says. And then like the more you play, you're like, man, I don't know who to believe. And like the game just kind of leaves it up to you to like decide what you believe and what you buy into. So yeah, like at the beginning of the game, I probably would have been fine with killing him, but I didn't kill him either later on, just because like I couldn't bring myself to do it.
There's actually one part of the end game that neither of us have mentioned, which was an interesting revelation too. That I'm not saying we need to mention, but it's curious. Do you remember what Alex shows you before he gives you the choice? He shows you. He spins you around in a chair and he shows you something.
Oh yeah. So was yours this? I'm assuming it's just
every end game version for me it was the same revelation.
Okay, so it like the aliens got to Earth anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which he's what?
What's that?
He shows you Earth basically on a bunch of finders, and it shows throughout the whole game. As you progress through the game, there's something called the coral, which is like it's like the inside of like a brain synapse. This is like when you see like looks like spider webs, except it's like celestial gold colored.
Yeah,
just spreading throughout the ship, and as you go into it. Sometimes you hear like the audio changes. Sometimes you hear like whispers, almost a little bit. It's like, and like as I said when couple times throughout the game it references this hidden area.
Mm.
There's a couple different things you do where all of a sudden it's like you're having a flashback almost. But what it actually is, I guess, is a flash out to what's happening actually at that moment. And you can hear people talking about you. And then you can almost hear Alex's voice. And a couple of times he says, they're lying to you. Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Almost. And there was a point where I'm thinking, okay, so what's really going on? And I'm thinking, is this me talking to me? Because I always thought I was out. Or Morgan.
Morgan, yeah.
An actual Typhon.
Yeah, I didn't
know.
know.
I'm thinking, am I telling myself not to believe these people? Or is this the Typhon talking to me, trying to escape and trying to use me to escape? And then after the end game, when you realize, well, this wasn't actually, none of this mattered. Because isn't that what Alex says?
No matter.
No. He does say it probably thinks it was dreaming and that none of this mattered.
Yeah.
So that actually implies that some of it did matter.
But I have to assume, because it was a simulation based on Morgan's memories, I have to assume that nothing you did actually affected what really happened.
Right.
But they don't tell you what actually happened either, which I'm assuming is on purpose because maybe they want to do a follow-up game. But
yeah,
it's
definitely
so
in my opinion, it's definitely a game of the year contender, I think.
Yeah,
I was going to say to kind of wrap it up. Do you both lands on your game of the year discussion list?
Yeah, for sure.
I've posted on Twitter a couple times, and some people have agreed. Like one of my biggest criticism of the game is the load times. Especially at the end of the game, you have to traverse Talos 1 up through a bunch of different areas, and it was literally like me watching a load screen. And then here's another thing I hated too. I don't know if this works the same way for you, Josh, but you sit through a load screen, which is loading the new area. Like Josh said, it tells you where you're going and tips will come up. But then after that ends, then you sit through another smaller load screen.
Yep. With the little thing in the corner.
Yeah. And then there would be times where it's like, all right, so I opened and all I did was I transported to an area that takes me to another area, and then there's a load screen. So the load screen would load. The other load screen would load. I'd run for like 10 seconds, and then another load screen would happen.
Yeah.
And the load screen
that's
30 seconds or more.
That's the frustrating thing. There's no fast travel. So like anywhere you go in the station, you have to actually go there. Like you have to walk there. And like it's a fairly big place. And then adding on to that, the load screens, like it gets a little much at the end.
Yeah. I mean,
I would agree.
It's not as bad as you play through the game because you're. I think most people would be a little bit slower at exploring every area, but at the end game where it's literally a race.
Yeah,
and the time's not counting down while you're in a load screen, but you're trying to get through this place fast. Yeah. And all you want to do is just
it kind of breaks it up. Yeah.
Dave,
did you feel like the gameplay was not quite as fluid as it could be? Like it was just not bad, but like a little bit glitchy here and there. Like
I never actually, to my knowledge, hit anything that was like glitchy. There were a couple times I got frustrated with just the way the gameplay was, as far as like, especially in Zero Gravity, when I'd be getting hit with like not the phantoms, but the ones that mess with your minds. I'd be getting hit with this ability that it shuts down your suit, it shuts down your weapons, and you're kind of just floating for a second. But you're also spinning in Zero Gravity. Everything's spinning, and I'm completely disoriented. I can't find the enemy at all. I don't know where the enemy's at. I get hit again, and it disorients me, and I'm like, come on, man. I can't figure out what's happening. Give me a second. But as far as just on the regular ship,
there was times where, because you can like pick things up, like there are things blocking doorways, and eventually, you can pick things up to move them.
I'd have to agree with that. Yeah,
and it was like stuff like that was like a little frustrating, because like you're supposed to be able to pick it up and like throw it to get it out of your way,
but it would get stuck on
it gets stuck. So then you'd have to try like 3 or 4 times, and finally like it would just shoot across the room or something. So like
sometimes it hurt
stuff like that. Yeah, like it's just like it's not big stuff. It's just like little, like very minor annoyances here and there, but it's definitely things that could be smoother.
There was one time, now that I'm thinking of it, there was one time when I was using my like Q-beam, whatever, and every time, like if you're too far away, it's not going to work. You'll just be wasting it. But then if you're close enough, the reticle lights up red. Well, I was outside of an area and there was a clear open way to shoot at it, and it was red and it moved, and all of a sudden it was like it got behind an invisible barrier.
Yeah.
And my reticle wouldn't turn red, but it kept hitting me, and I'm like, what? I'm like, come on, I can't hit it. I was moving around, and then it would flicker red for a second. It was like something was in front of me, but there wasn't anything in front of me.
Yeah.
And that I eventually killed it, but it was frustrating. I'm like, if I die because of this is crap.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things like that. But again, like nowhere near enough to be like game breaking or make me want to stop playing.
Cool.
Yeah, Chad, definitely game of the year worthy, at least to discuss.
I'll have to make sure I give it a chance to play then.
I think it would be in the top 5 for sure.
Good. All right. Well, I'll definitely put it on my list for sure. It was kind of
Breath of the Wild.
but
we got Horizons out there. We got Mario that's coming. So I would say it's safe to say I would put it in my top 5 easily.
All right. Well, there's the spoiler talk of Prey. Went a little longer than 10 minutes.
5-star platinum trophy game. That's gotta be in the discussion. So we got our work cut out for us.
All right. So that's what we've been playing this week. We're gonna quickly through the news that you can use.
If you so choose. I'm so mixed up. I forgot that we still had news.
Yeah, so quickly to go through those, I want to just we'll transition that, and then we got 20 questions, and we'll wrap her up. First off, Halo. Those are some games on the Xbox. Every Halo game is now backwards compatible, so you can get your 360 disc out, put it in, and it'll work on your Xbox One.
Also, Chad, before we get too crazy here, Paco and rub your face on it. First-hand supply brought to us by our Patreon supporters.
Put your face all up in it.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah. So Halo, all DLC is free. Secondly, Sony put an update into their hardware this past week, which syncs trophies faster.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Still dumb that you have to sync trophies.
Chad's still real mad about it.
Yeah.
It's real dumb that it just doesn't show up when you get a freaking trophy. Why do you have to go to a different screen?
You're connected online the entire time, so why?
Yeah. You have to go and look at your trophies to sync your trophies so they show up. Dumb. But now it's faster. Wonderful. Horizon Zero Dawn got a patch, free patch as well. Adds a new game plus, adds some face paints, and adds ultra hard mode.
Why do we need ultra hard mode? That just seems a little bit over the top.
So there's 2 more trophies now. Beating it in New Game Plus and then beating it in New Game Plus Ultra Hard. So I don't know if I have the patience to do that, to be honest with you. But that's available. IGN next showed...
Now, wait a second.
That
is just DLC. Like, people that haven't gotten the platinum, they don't have to get those trophies to get the platinum, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's additional trophies. It won't affect your platinum at all. So you just have to get the original ones there. So IGN is doing... every month they have the IGN First. This month is Destiny 2. And they showed the social space called The Farm. Showed some gameplay footage of that. What it looks like. There's little soccer goals there with a scoreboard and everything. Because you can no longer be at the tower because the tower is destroyed. So you're now at the farm, which is one of the European zones on Earth. New social space looks pretty cool. Nintendo Switch is releasing their online app alongside Splatoon 2, which comes out in July 21st. So this app will do all your chat. It'll do your inviting to games. And the app will be available on your iPhone or Android on July 21st, right along the launch of Splatoon 2. So that is a thing. You can let us know how that is, whoever plays it. And what we mentioned earlier, Doomfist now available in the public test realm. Thank you, Evan. which is what PTR stands for.
Nice.
And that'll be coming to the consoles in a future date. We got some information about Super Mario Odyssey.
I don't know how I feel about this.
There will be no game over screens, and there are no one-up mushrooms. There are no lives. You have no lives.
I mean,
when you die, you lose coins.
I would guess that this is just to make it. What reason for this other than just to make it more easy for the player? I mean, but one-ups is like a staple of Mario games, is it not?
Yeah.
And I mean, the sound is iconic. The little mushroom is iconic. I mean, obviously, you can still take damage, like you said, and lose coins, but that I feel like there's some weight that has been just erased to where, I mean, you can't die. Or if you
you just
if you
respawn
die,
back where you were.
Kind of like if Zelda falls into like if he drowns without losing all his hearts, he just reappears on the shore. But you have no lives. Obviously, you have no lives, right? There's no life meter.
No lives, just coins.
That's weird.
Interesting. See how that works out for them.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
It's a big change. All right. Next, the Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC for Zelda. The Nintendo of Europe Twitter account posted a 17-second video without any sound whatsoever about this DLC. And then one of the
why does that
executives, I don't know. One of the executives did say something about the specifics for this DLC. We were wondering, if you play as Zelda or play as the champions. Come to find out, we will be playing as Link. That's who we'll be playing as. You will learn more about Zelda, and this DLC takes place after defeating Ganon. So it's not a prequel. It doesn't go back. It happens after Ganon is defeated. So at this point, it's not a spoiler, but if you defeat Ganon, you can continue to play, as most games do. It just sets you back to the point right before you go into the castle and defeat Ganon.
It's like Horizon Zero Dawn did the same thing.
It's right before the end battle. So, but this DLC will take place after Ganon is defeated. So I guess you're probably going to want to beat it before that happens so that you can move on from that point. I don't know if
you might not be able to even play it
if you haven't. That's possible. So I thought that was interesting. Couple new tidbits we didn't know beforehand. Next, Castlevania Netflix series. We talked about that before. It's available on Netflix right now.
I almost watched episode 1 during lunch, but I did not.
I think there's only 4 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. They're all about a half hour long.
Yep.
So it's like a good movie.
And it got commissioned for a season 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also the creator had come out and said he's doing an Assassin's Creed similar version for Netflix as well.
Like animated?
So, yep.
Cool.
So, and then a rumor
next one is sad to me.
I just saw this rumor today, and it is a rumor. It has to do with the ARM game and another game that exists out there today. But there may be an update coming to No Man's Sky next month in August that will actually bring real live for reals multiplayer to the game.
Now, if
this is true, it's just it's a perfect example of too little, too late. And I hate to say that, but
now, Chad,
man, if we would have had this.
Now, Chad, I do have to ask this question because we all know I am Sean Murray's
bodyguard, right?
I am behind him all the way.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy. I think No Man's Sky is a great game. I do have to ask the question though, because I feel like this is a strange rumor when we sort of already kind of not really got multiplayer when we were supposedly able to visit other players' bases and see each other on a planet if we happen to be on the same planet at the same time and all that.
Did that ever happen though? Is there any documented people saw each other?
I don't think there's documented that people have seen each other. There is a trophy for visiting another player's base.
Sure.
And I still can't figure out
how that's
ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I haven't played in a while.
Yeah. Completely rumors.
And I still really like the game, but this seems weird.
I forget. There's another game that's online, and supposedly the people in this game are getting level 4 Atlas passes.
What?
As part of like a beta something or other for.
Wait. What do we know? What game this is?
I do. I should have wrote it down. It was going to be a almost throwaway story.
I scrolled past this story.
Yeah, it's completely way out there rumor, and I'm not gonna be able to find the article.
Is it
quickly?
Okay, let me just guess. Is it Star Citizen? Okay,
because
Star Citizen,
it's a game I had never heard
is
of.
a very No Man's Sky like game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the scope is as big, but it's like a procedurally generated like planet type thing. Well, that's crazy. There's a whole
I can't remember what it was called.
There's a whole metaverse.
Googling it. Yeah, it's outside the actual game. It's in some other game, but supposedly these beta players are getting a level 4 Atlas pass, and there's rumor that that's going to bring the multiplayer in an open beta or a beta period first, and then it might come to the game in the update next week.
All right,
stay tuned. We'll do a little more research, and we'll get back to you on that next week. And then finally, Battlefront 2, Star Wars game. The open beta begins on October 6th to the 9th. If you pre-order the game, the beta will begin on October 4th. So just a couple months, we will play the beta for Battlefront 2. And that's all the news for this week. So went through it quickly. Some interesting things. Like I said, we'll get back to you on the No Man's Sky stuff. I'll do a little more research.
So I didn't expect it to that news.
Didn't expect it to raise that much interest, honestly.
Honestly, I still really love that game. I do. And I haven't played it in a while, but that's
what I was gonna say. Would it bring any of us back if it did? Like if we could find each other.
I think I'd try it.
Each other, I would totally be into that. So
yeah.
All right, well, that's all the news we've got. Let's finish up quickly this week with Game Scoops. 20 questions.
It's a scoop.
Josh has the game for this week, and Dave and I are going to keep the streak going of figuring out the game.
All right, gentlemen, the game is. Oh wait, that's not how this works.
That's how we're good. That's how we keep it going. Josh just tells us. Begin, Dave. Start us off.
Josh, is this game a game that came out on the Xbox 360, PlayStation 2 era?
PS3, you mean?
Yeah, PS3. Sorry.
I was like, are you asking two questions in the form of one there? Yes, it did. It did release during that era.
Ooh, nice. Strike. Nice. Strike. There's a human in this game.
Yes.
Is this a sci-fi game?
Yes. 3 for 3.
Wow. Wow. Josh, is this a first-person game?
Yes. No. No.
What? Wait. What?
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes, too. No, it is not.
Wait. All right. Wait.
Oh,
hang on.
What the actual?
What is happening?
What?
Hang on.
It was confident yes. Then it was a confident no.
Now I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
Confidently waiting.
Hang on.
All confidence has been lost.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've played. So I just. No. Okay. So what was your question, Chad? Is it first person?
Is this a first person game?
It is not first person.
Yes. It is not first person. Is it based off of a licensed property?
No.
Okay. Could this be Mass Effect, Chad? I guess it could be at this point. We know we don't know enough. Sure. It could be.
Could be. Is this part of a series of games?
Yes.
Still could be then.
I'm trying to think of something else. I guess I should just narrow it down. Is this part of the Mass Effect series?
No.
Okay, so get that out of my mind, or I'm going to think about that.
Right.
It's not Star Wars. It's not a licensed property.
Yep. Let's see here.
We don't know yet if it's exclusives or not. It could. It's not Halo. It's not first person.
So do we want to narrow it down to exclusivity? Do we want to
We don't know if it's a Nintendo game yet. We don't know. So
likely
what do you think would have been the problem with the first person versus third person?
Yeah,
Why
well,
there
if
had
it's
to
just
be-
been a long time he's played
Honestly-
it, he just can't remember.
Yeah, honestly, it's just been a while since I've played it.
Well, I'm thinking maybe there's games in the series where there is and games in the series where there isn't.
Do we want to?
I mean, how would you-
Does finding out if they shoot guns matter?
It's a
I mean,
sci-fi.
game. It's most likely you do, right?
I would think, as a human, I would think so, but
Think so. Okay. All right. Let's. I think
it is part of a
what's-
series.
What's that game where you knock down buildings? Red Faction.
Crackdown? Oh, Red Faction. You use a hammer or something.
You Crackdown too. Yeah, Red Faction. You do shoot guns, but you also have
Yeah.
things where you blow buildings. Josh, is the
But I think
environment
that was. Oh no, you're right. It wasn't first person. I don't
is the
think-
environment destructible?
No.
Okay, it's not that. Is this game? Is there a game in the series either on current gen or coming to current gen?
Let me find out.
Not Crackdown.
Right, not something you immediately would know.
Right.
I'm gonna say I don't think so. I'm just
And to clarify, I didn't say playable, so I don't mean
right.
backwards compat or anything like that.
No, the answer is no.
Okay. How else could we narrow this down? You play as a human.
We don't know about
Sci-fi.
multiplayer yet. We don't know if there's only one
That's a good
playable
one.
character.
Is there a
don't know if you're
multiplayer,
you know?
Josh?
No.
Okay. No multiplayer. That was question 10.
That's 10.
Thanks,
Are you
David.
is your character a male?
Yes.
Okay, things that we don't know. We don't know if it's on Earth. We don't know if you can traverse.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Different world.
riding a vehicle or something. If you can do that.
So it's a male human in a sci-fi. We don't know if it's a shooter yet. We're assuming that. It's not play or it's not. There's not a game in the series on current gen.
Right?
We don't know if it's an exclusive. So we don't know where we played this game.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Josh, is this a Sony exclusive game?
No.
I just asked if it's exclusive, but
Yeah, I was because I'm trying to think of what a Sony exclusive sci-fi game is in that area, and I didn't play a lot of PlayStation 3 at all.
same.
I mean this could be a Metal Gear. No, it couldn't be current gen. Sci-fi. So is this? I feel like I'm wasting a question if I ask if it's cross-platform because if I ask if it's cross-platform, that would eliminate that it's if it's not, then that it's probably an Xbox exclusive, right?
Right.
I guess it could still be a Nintendo exclusive, but what sci-fi Nintendo exclusives? We're human.
Nothing. Metroid Prime.
That's
But
first
that's
person,
coming
right?
to current gen. Yeah, that's right. That's first person.
It's not okay. So it's not Mass Effect. It's not what? Then it's a series. So, Josh, did the series start in this same generation?
Yes.
Okay, so multiple games in this one generation of consoles. Sci-fi.
So it's most likely
and
not.
he doesn't think there's one coming either, because I did ask that.
Right.
So it's wrapped up in this generation, so to speak. Either that or it's a dead IP. At least 2 games. Sci-fi.
If the developer of this, do we want to ask about, like, if we found out the developer still is working on games, would that help us at all? Versus not being developed anymore?
It wouldn't help me, just because
help you.
My mind. No multiplayer. You're male. There wasn't any hesitation, so that to me says there's not an alternate character. I mean, I guess there could be alternate characters as long as it's another male.
He probably would have said you could. Well, yeah, I guess. I doubt that. Sounds like it's a single player,
Dead
third
Space.
person. Ooh, brilliant. There you go. What's the guy? His name is Isaac, correct?
Yeah.
Main character. Is the main character you play first name Isaac?
Yes.
Good job, Dave. Now we just got to figure out which one.
So, trying to think. Okay, didn't have multiplayer. We know that 3 had
co-op. So it's 1 or 2. So ask if
Is this the first game in the series?
Yes, it is.
Good job.
There you go, Chad.
Is this Dead Space?
No, it's not. Yeah, it is.
Oh, shoot. It's actually a mini game within Dead Space called
Yeah.
Dead Space released
Good job.
October 13th, 2008 in North America for PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. It's been such a long time since I've played these games. I, for the life of me, couldn't off the top of my head remember if it was first person or third person.
That's fair.
But I Prey got
close over the shoulder views in that game.
Yeah. And Prey got me in the mindset of like survival horror, and then I was like,
does it have that feel? Does Prey have that feel kind of Dead Space?
Sort of.
Dead Space is, I think, is more the horror than
Dead Space is scarier. It's like Prey is really more of a BioShock vibe, but there are also parallels.
Also, Prey has far less of than both BioShock and Dead Space has far less like dark areas. There is like a couple times where the power's out, but for the most part, you're in like completely like as if nothing was wrong and people were walking around the areas of this station.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whereas BioShock, a lot of times you're like
Dead
dark,
Space,
dank, dripping area where anything can happen.
Yep.
Good game. I love Dead Space. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that game quite a bit.
That was one of my first fall asleep multiplayer games with Chad.
Story
there was that
specifically
that one scene where Chad's like he's in like a fever dream battling something, and I'm supposed to protect him outside.
Yeah, right.
And I'm asleep.
Gosh, I kind of want to go back on my Xbox. Like that was before screenshots and stuff, wasn't it? Like they didn't have that on the 360, did they?
Yeah,
where you could take screenshots and things and record footage. Because man, that would have been a perfect one to just record.
I did some of it on my Xbox One because when it became backwards compatible.
Yeah, but when we played that particular time, that was on the 360 for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember looking. I probably took a picture with my phone, and that's been a couple generations ago, so that phone's gone. But I took a picture of Dave literally standing in a corner.
I remember you sent it to the
all Jim Halpert style, but minus the jumping, holding a grenade. Classic Jim Halpert, classic Dave man. All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's podcast, episode number 125. As always, thanks for coming and listening. Thank you for sticking along with us. Thank you for if you didn't listen to the Prey, spoiler talk, finish that game yourself. Go back and take a listen to those 20 minutes of spoiler talk. Enter to win the PS4. We're going to give it away just a few more months.
Give it away now. Give it away.
The end of the podcast. This is it. See you later.
Bye.
A piece of pizza. Try so hard to forget you, girl.
Have to get that song now for sure. Put it somewhere in there. I don't know where. Bye, YouTube. Thanks for watching.
Oh,
What
Here's the
episode
question.
is this?